move on to those introductions, I just want to thank Lizelle Maurice, who's been our lead and is our lead for Timeless in South Africa, and has worked very, very closely with all the enterprises in South Africa to prepare for this day. I'd love to give you, Lizelle, a few minutes just to welcome, everybody on the call and just share a few words about your expectations and the enterprises in South Africa today, and then I will then introduce the team on this end. Welcome, Lizelle.
Welcome, Madam Yakan. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak and come on the call. It's indeed a privilege to be with our investors as well as our business enterprises on the Zoom call today. We want to thank our investors and we look forward to pitching our business ideas to them. Dr. Rollan, thank you. Thank you to the TWOW team as well for making this day possible. Logistically, it's always a logistical nightmare sometimes to put something like this together. And I know you all have been very busy with the various countries. So really, it's exciting. I'm excited for the enterprises that are on the call today. And thank you for taking the step. I want to thank them, because sometimes you can put a proposal or a project or an initiative together, but it really needs the buy-in of the enterprises to make it a success. So I want to say thank you to the enterprises themselves for coming this far and for really putting in the additional work from the first time they submitted the executive summaries to this point today. I want to thank them, and I really want to wish them well as they pitched for their business ideas today and for the funding, proposed funding that they may receive. All the best to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lizelle, and really well done with all the work that you have been doing over the months, working with our teams and our technical teams to come this far. Congratulations to all of you. So without much ado, I'd just love to introduce Dr. Rollan Roberts, CEO of Courageous and also, co-host of the Africa. Just give some remarks and share some guidelines for this.
Greetings, South Africa. It is great to be with you today, and we've spent much time in the past together, and so we're glad to see the finished product today. I know you've spent a lot of time preparing for this. We've been working with you for months in the Timeless team to get your business prepared with the executive summaries, with the business models, getting your financials in order, and so we're glad that you're here and that we are at this point. So I want to give a few words of guidance to you to make this the most profitable day as possible for you. The way this is going to work is you're going to have 3 minutes. Okay, you've got 3 minutes to pitch. And my recommendation is that you only take the first 60 seconds, because if you talk the whole time, I promise you none of the investors are going to have any questions, and we'll let you go and we'll go to this person. Okay. That time is for us to be able to share. We want to hear a few specific points from you and then nothing else, okay? We have the further on every single enterprise, and so we will be going in an order that you are given. I will call the name of the enterprise, and if the appropriate person does not come on right away, then I will call the person's name. I will do about 2 times, and then I will move on, and you will lose your chance to present today. So it is critical that you pay attention at all times, because if you may think you've got 10 minutes because 2 people are in front of you. However, they may not be on, or they may not be ready and listening. And then I call your name and you will miss your opportunity for funding. And I don't want anybody to make $1 million mistake today on this call. So please pay attention and be aware. We have all sacrificed our time to give ear to your dreams and your goals. And so just as we are respecting you with our presence and with our full attention, we ask that you do the same. And so when pitching us, you need to give several pieces of information. I don't want to hear how your business started. I don't want to hear your marketing plan. I don't want to hear your goals and dreams on this. And that's not the forum for this, okay? What you do is you say, hi, my name is Dr. Rollan Roberts. I own XYZ company. We are doing $17 million per year. We net, $7 million per year, or you can say profit margin is, whatever it is, 28% or 20%, 30%. And we are looking for $3 million or $100,000 or $5,000 to, buy more pigs for our piggery. Okay. So that is what you need to know in terms of how to proceed. And that will make you quite effective in your propositions today. So be very specific and very short. And then that gives us a chance to ask more questions. If you give us that amount of information, I promise you we'll have questions. If you talk the whole time, we have no questions. Okay. So keep in mind to be successful today. Enterprises that the investors want to follow up with will be scheduled for tomorrow primarily, maybe or over the next few days, but many of them tomorrow. So you will be notified this evening by the Timeless administrative team, who you'll meet here in just a moment. They will be notifying those who have been successful in this round to meet with us tomorrow, one-on-one with the investors. And that's when we get to know you. That's when we get to just talk with you and just get to know your business and where you're wanting to take it, and really dive deep into your enterprise with you, because we also be talking deal structure. So you need to be prepared to talk. And we're going to be, we'll have several different types of funding. We'll have inventory financing, equipment financing, construction financing, growth capital. We'll have revenue share opportunities. And so there's a lot of different ways that we can service you and fund your enterprise, but you need to be prepared to have those kind of conversations tomorrow, okay? Which means you know your business, obviously, inside out. So be willing to talk because the goal of the follow-ups is to get a verbal offer, and we can say, this is what we'd like to offer, and then you can kind of sit with that and see if it's something that will work for you and your business. Anybody that we fund goes through the Timeless process, which is like a 12-month advisory consultation, that you have access to the legal analyst, the business analyst, and the technical team of Timeless. Okay, that is invaluable. It doesn't cost you. It's a part of the success of you being funded and moving forward in the process. We don't want to just invest and then business go away. So we have the Timeless team, the business technical analysts, that will work with you and answer questions, that finesse in your marketing plan, execution, your operations, and is here for you every step of the way throughout this process. All right, so that's a great thing as well. And with that, I'd like to close with introducing and just welcoming a few of our investors that are on. I'm representing a couple of two investment firms, and so I'm thrilled to be on here with you. I also want to introduce Bert Seal. Bert is a dear friend of mine, an investor from the United States, actually South African native as well. So just a phenomenal. He understands the mindset, the culture, the differences, and the uniques of investing. And so he has significant access to capital. We've worked on projects together, funding projects, and so glad to have him. Also, we have several members of his team that are present as well. We have Tony, and then we also have Ray, and so I think that and Adam. So we round out the legal and financial with that team. And so I want to just welcome all of you from the United States, and hello from Africa. I actually met with them the morning before I left for several hours. So it's great to see you on here. Also, we have Daniel Sloan, who is with Future Tech, and he has co-invested in African enterprises through some of their partnerships for years. And so I'm really glad to have Daniel on. And Daniel has been with us through this tour. And I don't know another person that has a heart for African enterprise like Daniel. To just his patience, his level of detail, his level of attention is really something else. And I'm grateful to have him. I'm grateful for his spirit. our goal is to serve as many people as we can. And then also a friend that we have on here as well, investor Danny Griffin. And so Danny is from Tennessee, in the Tennessee area of the United States. And he is involved in a number of deals and construction projects and just various unique type of investments. It's really something else, the kind of things that he is involved in and the kind of projects that he funds and partners with. So he's even been a resource for me on a couple of initiatives. And so we're glad to have him as well. So with that, I want to make sure that that we have all of the bases covered here. Yep. Okay. Very good. Enterprises, I hope you're ready because when it's time to go, you're on the clock. I'd like to turn it back over to Madam Naikin. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rollan. You can hear all the excitement, right? And it's real and real like that. I really just want to thank Dr. Rollan and all the investors who are on board. Thank you, Daniel, for continuing to walk the journey with us. Always a pleasure to have you on. And welcome to all the others who are specifically engaging with South Africa. I think South Africa, you're in very, very good hands. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have, to share today. Just before we get kicking, I'd love to introduce to you our technical team. On the far right, we have Molly. Molly, just say a quick hello. Molly is our regional program coordinator, has worked very closely with all of you enterprises and is a link between the enterprises and the technical team. Molly.
Hello, South Africa. How are you doing? I'm so excited to see you all logged in. And I know you've already prepared. So many people, so many of you are asking me questions, but just relax and put your project in. We are happy to be here to support you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Molly. Always great to have you as part of the team. And right next to Molly on the far left is Cecilia Kaisha. And Cecilia is actually leading the legal and business teams and has been on the tour from the beginning. Cecilia, please say hello.
Hello, everyone. Hi, South Africa. Nice seeing you all. This is a culmination of a long journey and wishing you all the best.
Thank you, Cecilia. Yes. To my far right is Michelle Moka. Michelle has been working tirelessly with a team of business analysts and technical advisors, behind the scenes, just looking at all your projects, making sure that they're really making sense, that they're viable, that you're able to get feedback on how to improve them. Michelle, say hello.
Hi, South Africa. I'm happy to see you again, and I'm sure this will be successful for you.
Thank you, Michelle. And then last but not least is Steve Lugalia. Steve Lugalia is actually the head of the technical committee and the credit committee, just looking at the viability and the numbers and the costs, of your projects, working very closely in terms of advising on how you can be able to link, and present and articulate your needs to the investors. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Nicole, and welcome to this funding tour. This is for you enterprises. This is once in a lifetime opportunity, and I just want to emphasize what has already been said, and please listen very, very carefully in terms of how we expect you to make your presentations. Dr. Rollan mentioned about 60 seconds that you've got available to make your pitch, and this is the order must make this pitch if you really want to have a good chance of getting the investor's ear. First of all, give your name and the role you're playing in that enterprise, whether you're a director, whether you're a marketing person, a finance person, give your name. Secondly, mention the name of the company. Thirdly, a very brief description of the project that you're undertaking or intend to undertake. And then the fourth thing you must talk about is, if you're already in business, how much revenues are you making? If not, what's the potential revenues do you intend to make once you start your business? And also very important, if you're to get the funding, how much more revenue would you be able to make? The fifth thing you must talk about is the current profits margin that you're making, preferably in terms of percentage. And then be very clear about the amount you're actually asking for. Are you asking for $1 million? Are you asking for $2 million? And the purpose for that particular funding. And then finally, also must mention the type of funding you're looking for. Yeah. So this is the information the investors want to hear today. Be very, very brief, be very brief. And the investors will be able to very quickly make up their mind or decision in terms of which projects are of interest to them. And by the end of the day, the investors will give us, the technical people, an indication of the projects they like to talk to. And by close of day or very early tomorrow morning, the people who are successful will get an email or a call from Timeless, basically advising you that the investors are interested in your project. So please be very careful, follow those instructions, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So without much ado, would love to kick off South Africa.
Great, thank you, Madam Naikin. So first up, we have Mvundla Farms. Mvundla Farms, it's John Caputo. John Caputo. Mvundla Farms.
Good afternoon,
Mvundla
everyone.
Farms.
To those in America. My name is John Cupido. I represent Mvundla Farms.
We see you, we don't hear you. So we'll give it just a
sorry.
moment here to unmute. Oh, it actually shows that he is unmuted. Let's give it a moment then.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
We have you now. We can hear you.
Oh, great. My name is John Cupido. I represent a company called Mvundla Farms here in East London, in the Eastern Cape, South Africa. Our company, what we intend to do is, this company, well, at least this project, is about food security in a water scarce world, building the local economy and becoming the world leader in providing rabbit meat and organic rabbit urine and fertilizer to the world. Rabbits are 6 times more productive than other meat sources. For example, for the amount of food and water that it takes to 1 kg of beef, you can make 6 kilograms of rabbit meat. Now, the other part of it, where the real money is actually in the byproduct, in rabbit urine and rabbit fertilizer. The NKP, the NPK values, the nitrogen values, the different values required for fertilizer. Rabbit fertilizer virtually destroys all other fertilizer. It's more than double chicken fertilizer, which is one of the very popular and raved about fertilizers. It is what is considered a cold fertilizer, a cold manure, something that doesn't need to be hocked, it doesn't need to be held and composted for several months before you can use it. You can pour it directly onto your plants without burning the plants. The liquid urine itself is something that...
but I do have, if you could quickly give us the amount of revenue that you're doing,
okay. I always get a bit carried away with the... look, at full production within 2 years, we will produce $2.7 million in gross product value a month, which is $32.7 million gross value a year. We're looking at about a 60 to 70% profit rate. The reason for that is the real values in the byproduct, which is already paid for in the production of the meat. And these figures are based on highly conservative and less than world average figures. For example, rabbit meat, the world average at the moment is $5.04. I've worked at it exactly that. None of the figures in our factors and in our financials goes above the world average. The amount that we are looking for is $8.5 million to $10 million. And we are open to consider debt, equity, or profit sharing funding.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. So here's a couple questions. Thank you, John. So you're in the startup phase then, right? There's no revenue. You haven't
Yes,
started.
sorry,
You don't have.
yes.
You do. Okay. What stage are you in right now? Where are you? Like.
Well, the company is registered. We've sourced our our suppliers internally for rabbits and whatever we need, the raw materials that we need to set up the farms. At this stage, it's just the funding.
Okay, so you're needing rabbits, you're needing farms, you're needing meat processing plant, you're needing brand, a consumer brand, and then sell that meat?
Yes.
Okay. So you're wanting the full ecosystem.
Yes.
And one of the investors right now is asking, do you have any evaluations that have already been done to warrant that amount of funding?
To warrant this amount of funding, the evaluations that we have is what we've received from people that design the type of international abattoir that we require, and then also what we've worked out the expenses would be to build the three rabbit farms. There will be 3 rabbit farms of 8,000 breeding does, and 2,000 breeding bucks. So 30,000 breeding rabbits, 3 separate farms.
3 farms with 30,000 breeding rabbits. Do you have people who have been doing this or know what they're doing with rabbit breeding, with production, meat production?
Yeah, we do. We do. We have a pilot project that we've been running for about 3 years now.
Okay.
It's a project that we've kept very small because to go commercially, you need a certified abattoir to be able to sell commercially, and that is what we need to produce and build at this stage.
What have you learned during the pilot program?
We've made the usual mistakes of being a farmer. We've brought down mortality rates of the kits. We've learned what percentages works well with feeding. We've actually got in touch with one of the food production companies in South Africa and asked them if they have a certain type, specifically rabbit type pellets, because rabbits have a similar digestive system to horses. They said they don't, but they helped us create 2 types, one for nursing and one for the mother as well. And the average kits has gone up from the average of about 7-8 kits per litter to about 10 or 11 kits per litter.
Okay. And my last question. Do you have any contracts with providers, with distributors, international distributors specifically for the distribution of this meat? Last thing I would want is you to have 30,000 rabbits and you can't move the meat, and it's one big disaster. So what kind of contracts are in place, or conversations that you already have MOUs for, or things of that nature?
We have off-take agreements.
Is there a market for rabbit meat? I guess that's the other side of this. Yeah.
Yeah, the large market is the export market. The South African market is something that still needs to be grown. There is a small market for it. It's one of the reasons why my initial pitch was one that needed a growth phase as we trained the farmers into being able to run their farms and grow rabbits. But if you look at the export market to Europe, China currently is the biggest producer and exporter, but they have dropped now to second to Belgium. Reason being, obviously, because of the pandemic, a lot of their food products are persona non grata throughout the world at the moment. So the export market is definitely the one to be. I have spoken with people from the European Union. There is a market for us there. We haven't specifically made any, we haven't confirmed any off-take agreements because, like I said, at this stage, my initial pitch was one that would take 3 years before actual export. But with us ramping it up, this is something that we would concentrate on and secure.
Okay, great. Very good. I think that answers most of our questions. We'll get to any of the further ones in any next steps if that is the case. So thank you so much, John. Thank you for presenting and giving us the details we needed. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, next up we have DNF Waste and Environmental Services. DNF Waste and Environmental Services. This is Deidre Freeman. DNF
Good
Waste and
afternoon.
Environmental. Oh, hi, Deidre. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Yourself, Dr. Rollan.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks very much for the opportunity from the TWOW team. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deirdre Nxumalo Freeman, DNF Waste and Environmental Services. We've been in existence for 12 years, so we started in 2008. The company's got an annual revenue of just over 5 million Rand, but we are hoping with the funding that we have requested that we will be able to ramp up the revenue to 50 million rand per annum, which equates to just under $1 million per annum, with 39% profit margins. So primarily what the organization does, we do recycling. So we procure recyclables within the broader Eastern Cape area, and we're wanting to expand nationally. But within that frame, we're also doing glass sand, which is beneficiation of waste. So we're not only looking at recycling, but beneficiation of the waste, which is glass sand, producing more glass sand. So our projections would be to do 1,500 tons of glass sand on a monthly basis. And then also the other side is we've got a subsidiary company called Clear Thermal Africa, where we do thermal destruction of waste. So we are able to offer our clients a holistic waste management solution. So if we cannot recycle the waste, we would then take it to our thermal destruction plant. It reduces that waste to 4% ash. That ash can be composted as well. So we can take our clients to basically a zero waste to landfill solution.
Very interesting. And how much funding are you looking for?
So we're looking for $2.3 million. And with the profit margins projected, that's amortization of that if it's a loan amount over a 10-year period.
Why 2.3 million? What's the use of funds?
So firstly, it will be the expansion of our clear thermal operations. So to then take our capacity to 16 tons per day. So that would require 4x4 ton ashes, which will phase over a 2-year period. And then also to buy in the equipment to expand our glass sand operations and look at expansion of our current recycling operations and amalgamation of all our entities on one premises as well.
So how much of that 2.3 million is equipment?
So of the 2.3 million, about 2 million is equipment, and the 300 would be for the facility itself.
Okay, very good. Any investors have any questions?
Yeah, do you have any requirements for software as part of your expansion in this fundraise?
So with we have to demonstrate to clients that we can give them a cradle to grave certificate. So we have got software that we've developed and expanded to be able to give our clients that peace of mind that the waste, when we receive it, that we are handling it cradle to grave. So we've got software that we have developed, but it can do with some expansion as well. Okay.
I guess the question is, how much of a priority is that for you? You're looking at 2.3 million, and it didn't seem like any of that money's earmarked for software. So is that a critical success factor, or is your current solution handling your needs?
The current solution is handling our needs. We've just invested a small amount of money in terms of refining it, that we can, throughout our process, manage the waste as well. So currently it gives us, we receive the waste and we can give them a certificate at the end, but we'd like to manage the waste internally as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, very good, thank you. Okay, any other questions? Awesome, thank you, Deidre.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, very interesting enterprise, and obviously great success already with your longevity, your sustainability. I do think that anytime you're in the waste and the recycling business, I think it is, you are in a tech business, no matter what other equipment you have. But I also think that you're competing against major players around the world in the same business. And so, you know, there's some things to consider there. But I love that the subsidiary is actually what made me perk up a little bit. What you're doing there makes this a whole lot more interesting. So we'll, yeah, thank you for presenting today. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Okay, my pleasure. Next up, we have Elegant Event and Project Management. Elegant Event and Project Management. This is Zonky.
Hello. Good
yes,
afternoon.
hi Zonky. Greetings.
I'm doing well, thank you for having me. My name is Zonky Nayo, Director of Elegant Event and Project Coordination. we have identified an opportunity to solve the problem of lack of accommodation for learners attending the established St. Christopher's Christian schools in Kids Beach, East London area of the Eastern Cape province in South Africa. Learners are coming from surrounding rural areas, and despite establishing this school, there is no current private hostel operating. Our core as Elegant Event is to provide a secure quality accommodation that will provide stability and allow the learner to develop social and spiritual interaction, building confidence and lifelong relationships among themselves and their mentors. The hostel is within a walking distance to the school. The potential revenue estimated for the first year is $102 with an estimated profit margin of 30%. However, 63% profit margin is projected if the soft terms in my prior presentation are accepted. Elegant Event is applying for a loan of $340 to purchase a 2.8 hectare farm, buy equipment, do minor renovations. We have structures in the building that can be easily converted to one. I thank you.
Thank you. So, I mean, this is interesting. I think there's something here I just don't understand, and I know we'll have a chance to kind of go deeper if that is warranted. But my question, first off, is, I mean, I thought you were like in the event planning business, and then I'm hearing hostel, you know, buying land and building hostel and basically being in the hospitality business. And the mission is obviously something that I completely believe in and am very thankful. And I think that it is the right model, having social and spiritual enterprises, you know, working together. But I'm trying to connect dots, and that's what's missing for me right now. That you've got the Elegant Event. So do you have an event business right now, like event management company?
It's an Elegant Event management company that has not done business in the past. It's a business that, however, it has not been able to secure business in the past because of other family challenges that I've had before.
Okay. So really, the brand here is not good for a hostel, you know, in the setup that you're trying to build, because it has nothing to do with this. I think it applies to maybe some things you've tried in the past. So I would strongly recommend you rebrand and have something that makes sense. Okay, all right, that's very helpful. So basically, you're wanting funds to be able to buy, how many hectares was it?
It's 2.8 hectare farm.
2.8. Okay. And it already has some structures on it, or you have to build the structures?
Yes.
Does it already have structures on the property, on the farm, or are you gonna have to build?
There are structures that are existing in the farm that could be readily converted to house the students.
Okay, awesome. All right, very good. Thank you so much, Zonki, for sharing your passion with us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Next up. We have Sajit Investments. Sajit Investments, it's LaRusha Govinder. Sajit Investments.
She doesn't seem to be on the call, Dr. Rolland.
Pardon me, she's on a call?
She doesn't seem to be on the Zoom call today.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Fanatomy Enterprises. Fanatomy Enterprises, they're trading as Greenfield's Homework Center. Greenfield's Homework Center.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi. Good.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Am I allowed to share my screen or not?
Yes, but no, actually, I'd rather just see your eyeballs, and I want you to tell me the name of your business again, and I want you to tell me how much revenue you're doing, how much you're looking to raise.
All right. We are Fanatomy Enterprises. It's a team of 2. That's my son and myself. We are running a homework center at the moment. The homework center runs from grade 1 to grade 12. At the moment, what we do at the homework center is assist our students. We fill in gaps. They arrive at us from 1 o'clock until 5 o'clock in the evening. Thereafter, we have exercise classes, which we have with them towards the end of the session, which is about an hour. The Greenfields Homework Center currently has had 30 students. The 30 students each paying 650 rands. But now with the COVID-19, because we would have to have online classes, we ended up having to charge 1,000 rand per student, which they did comply with because we had extra data that we had to do. It means that then we have had to have an income of
Basiswe, is that 1,000 rand that you're charging, is that on a weekly basis or a monthly basis?
That's the monthly basis for the online.
56 a month for online. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And should I go on?
Yeah. I want to know how much. So how much? I mean, I can do the math later, but I want to know how much you're making. What your profit margin is with this should be very high, and also how much you're asking for.
Okay, we've found out that for all of that, in year 1 we'll make 46,619 US dollars, and then we looked at a 1% growth per month, which would give us eventually 52,213 US dollars. So the profit margin at the end of the year would give us 5,594 US dollars a month. I mean, the year. So we are looking at asking for 400,000 rand, which amounted to 38,836 US dollars. That's round about 400,000 rand for our computer center and the gym.
So you're wanting to build a gym with that?
It's the outdoor gym, the one the children have to play in, and it will bring in revenue because it's an outdoor gym where adults can come and gym during the day or later in the evening when they're out of work.
Okay, so there is charge adults. Okay, so my question, people may not be able to do that for another year, right, with COVID. So you're wanting 39,000 for basically for a gym, for gym equipment, playground equipment, and you're doing $26,000 a year right now in revenue, and you think you will grow to 52,000 if you were given 39,000 in funding. Now, the way I hear that is that means you think you're going to do you're going to double your revenue with the playground and the gym, which means if you take how many people, however much rand you can charge per person, you're charging 56 right now for online, and you've got 30 students. So you would have to at least find 30 people paying $56 or 1,000 rand a month just to use your gym and playground in order to make this make sense. Is that feasible where you are?
It is not just the gym, it is also the computer center that we are going to build as well. So the gym would take 20% of that amount, and the computer center will take 80%, because there are people that already want computers to rent a month. And we calculated that if we rented that out to people for 2,500 rand, then they would definitely get a lot more revenue than we anticipate. Yes. That's from the computer center.
Well, you know what? I don't have any more questions, but I will say you are an entrepreneur. You are, and I love it. I love how you're thinking and planning. I like how you pivoted with COVID. It is not an excuse. COVID is an opportunity, and so many people are too busy crying the blues to try to move forward. And so I am proud of you and what you're doing. And it sounds like, and thank you for letting me push you on some of these numbers, because once again, it has to make sense. And you've done a good job of thinking through it. And you are in East London, correct?
Yes, I'm in East London in Greenfields. The area is Greenfields. So we've named the company after the area that we're in. So
Yes,
it's called now
nice.
Greenfields, because we're looking at going through with, sorry.
What's the population of Greenfield?
So it's quite big. On the top of my head, I think maybe about 120,000, maybe. Okay. Somewhere there, because Greenfields would be a lot more other areas. So West Bank, Greenfields, Rosemount, and the nearby peri-urban area, which we have there, the location. Okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I appreciate it, and best wishes to you with Greenfield Center. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right.
My pleasure. All right. Next up, we have Viewpoint Property. Viewpoint Property.
Hello, how are you?
Yes, great. How are you? Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Eda, and I'm a co-founder and the director of company. I have Grace Bosch here with me, the other director. Our company name is Viewpoint Property, and our aim is to build for property investment portfolio for residential. We are looking for, our aim is to start with 5 properties. And our is to build passive income, also looking for capital appreciation for the property. Our margin potential will be 80% for the invested money, which will be $50,000 US. And our potential revenue, what we are looking for the 5 property is $27,133 US. And we are looking for $30,000 US from the investors. And us as a director, we're gonna fund the company with $20,000 US. In total, we're gonna have $50,000 US to start with. We're gonna use the fund to pay the deposit of the mortgage, to pay the registration fee for the board, transfer fee, and attorney fee. The type of fund we're looking for.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is a debt fund. Looking forward to doing business with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Eda. Do you already have the 5 properties identified?
We have already identified the first property because we don't want to sign a lot of offer to purchase deal because of the high risk. We want to go one by one property.
So the 30,000 US that you're looking to raise, along with the 20,000 that you have that you're putting in, does that 50,000 go towards this one property?
No, it is for all 5 properties.
So you're kind of allocating $10,000 per property.
Yes.
How are you able to acquire this one piece that you've already identified with $10,000?
That 10,000, I'll put a deposit for the property and paying for the other costs like registration of the board, attorney fee, and transfer fee of the property.
So you're going to find 4 other properties in that same price range so that you do not exceed the 10,000 that you kind of allotted per property. Is that the idea?
The exact idea is to look for property under 1 million or under 800, that is right now. to look for the property which are ranging on the same property. But maybe some property will take the whole 10,000 and some property can take the rest of 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
But
have you ever bought property before or invested in property?
I have invested in property, but not in South Africa. They are in Kenya. We have built the apartment, 6 apartments, but we built it from our own funds. The other investment property, we don't have other investment property.
Okay. For the technical team, would you please make sure that you send the profile of the property to our team, to your country lead, and then they'll get it to Molly or Michelle, because we will need to see the viability of the property more than the viability of your plan. Okay, so the property is what this will hinge on, not your plan. And so we'll leave that kind of open, but we'll need to see a specific, a plan there. And I also want to put this out. I think that it may be an interesting play to invest 10,000, give you 10,000 and buy the first one, and then come back and give you another 10,000 when you find the next property, and then give you another 10,000 when you find the third property. I don't think that I will have or would want any investor to give you the 50,000 and it just be sitting there. I'd rather it sit in my account, not your account. Okay, because of interest and because of just good stewardship, right? So it's better for us to partner in that way. So there is a possibility of starting with 10,000 since that's how much you actually have allocated to this one property. And obviously, I don't know if they have the same problem in South Africa that they have in Kenya, where 3, 4, 5 people may have bought the same property and they all think they own it and they don't. And so I would want to make sure that we are beyond crystal clear on who owns this if it is purchased. Okay, so those are just a few things that maybe the country leads there can be working on. So we'll move forward. But thank you so much, Etta, for sharing. I love real estate investing. It's how I got my start. So you're speaking my language there. I know what it's like when you don't have something at the moment to really leverage, but you're trying to get started. And I do think that there are resources available for that, but it's not going to be at the way. You're not going to be able to start where you hope to finish. You've got to start where you are. And so I think, though, that if you're willing to do that, there's something to talk about. So thank you so much, Etta, for sharing, and Viewpoint Property. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Rollan.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Tingle Construction. Tingle Construction. Nomazizi, Tingle Construction. Okay, last call for Tingle, T-E-N-G-A-L, Tingle Construction. Nomazizi.
I'm here, sir. I'm here. I'm Nomazizi. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Please enable your video. Yes.
Pardon?
Please enable your video.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. We can now you're muted. So if you can unmute yourself.
Do you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes. I think we're going to have to choose between hearing you or seeing you. So go ahead and speak.
Okay. I don't know how to make myself. I thought I'm seen.
We got to see it for 2 split seconds. It's always just nice to see because you're investing in people. Yeah, I think we. Okay, so give me 1 second here. Let me unmute you. You put your video on, and then I'll unmute you. Let's try that. She gets it in. Okay, there you are. We hear you and see you.
Okay, thank you, sir. All protocol observed. I'm Nomazizi Mpongwana. The name of my company is Tengal Construction. What the company is doing, I'm doing all the civil works. By saying that, I mean, by saying I'm doing all civil works, I mean, I'm doing access roads, all inclusive of water, sanitation in villages, and also building, but all civil works, that what I can say. The current potential revenue is 15 million, which is 850 USD. The current profit margin at percent is 40%. The amount I'm looking for is 2.519.078 USD.
How much?
The type of, pardon, sir?
What was the ask again? Was it 2.9 million, right? USD?
Yes, yes, 2.519.07 USD. Yes, sir.
Okay.
The type of funding I'm looking for.
Okay, go ahead.
The funding I'm looking for is for buying the company, the machinery, the plant, because I saw a need that if I can own my plant, the company can own the plant, it will be better, because most of the money is taken to it's taken to, for me to, I'm going out to hire from people outside. But if I can have my own plant, it will be better, because I'll be making more profit than taking it to plant hires. And the type of funding I'm looking for.
Doing what, I mean, what are you, if you're in road construction and sanitization and those type things, what is the plant for?
The plant is for road construction, say. Even if it is for water reticulation, that we need heavy machinery there, like the excavators, the graders, because sometimes we have to start by doing access roads before we go to reticulate.
Okay, so have you built any roads?
Yes, sir. My company provides that.
You're already doing it.
Yes, sir. I'm already in construction. The company started working seriously in 2006. I did. Yes, I did. I've completed Ntabankulu Sports Field where I am, and by this day there will be a handover to the MEC of the sports field that I have done in my local where I'm staying.
Okay, how much revenue did you do last year?
15 million, sir. 850 USD.
So you did actually, that's actual. I thought that was projected. Okay. So if you get 2.519 million for the equipment, how much revenue do you expect to do after you receive funding or receive the equipment?
40, I'm expecting to do 1.13.000 USD, say. $113,000 USD, say.
So she's expecting, she's doing 850,000 right now. If we get 2.5 million, then you're going to be at 1.3. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's on the review.
Yeah. What's the profit margin of 40%? Is that what you said post funding?
Yes. Yes. The profit margin is 40%, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any investors have any questions on this? I think I've asked most of the ones that we would want to know. All right. So very good. Noma Zizi, I want to thank you for your time. And I also want to give you one other shout out, because it is not often that you see women in construction, period, much less road construction and infrastructure development and infrastructure projects. So I just commend you. I mean, you've been at this for 14 years, and you've built yourself a great business and looking to take it to the next level. And so, yeah, congratulations. Thank you for paving the way, if I may borrow an expression from your industry. Thank you, because you're an inspiration to women everywhere, all over the world, because you just went for what you believed in and what your passion is. And you're competent, you're sharp, you're articulate, you think through things, and you're obviously persistent. You must be to get to where you are. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay, next up, yes. Next up, we have JLMN. JLMN. This is Linneo Matiba. JLMN of Linneo Matiba.
Good afternoon. It's Patricia. My name is Patricia. Good afternoon, Dr. Roberts.
Good afternoon.
I represent a farm called JLLM. We have been farming since 2016. We are based in Krugersdorp in the west end of Gauteng, the Gauteng province. And we currently have 80 tunnels that are vegetables. We produce lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, and some cucumbers that we supply to an anchor farm. We're actually an outgrower, and we supply to an anchor farm that is supplying to Freshbank. And our revenue on a yearly basis is 3 million rands. And we are currently now looking to expand to make another 60 tunnels. That is going to cost us about 8 million rands. And that 8 million rands also includes some operational costs and to also establish a small pack house for the farm.
Okay, give me one moment for us to do a couple of conversions here.
All right.
So she's doing, how much rand are you doing in sales right now? And how much are you asking for?
3.1 million rands that we're doing in turnover. And we are looking for expansion capital for 8 million rands.
So she's doing about $172,000. Okay. She needs 8. It's just about 450,000.
And
okay,
that
I have a question here. If you're doing $172,000 in that's in sales, so 3 million rand with 80 tunnels, and
yes.
Why would I give you 400,000 to just do 60 more tunnels? Like that, the math just doesn't make sense on that. What am I missing?
The 60 tunnels will then be an expansion, right? That will also include not only the tunnels, the capacity for the tunnels, also for the pack house as well. That will now enable us to have economies of scale to be able to get more clients.
Okay, so the idea here is that yes, you expand a little bit, but also that pack house is going to service other growers.
That is correct. That will also service other growers and also be able to, because currently now I'm sending to another pack house. So I don't have my own pack house. So okay. I cannot supply to Pick and Pay. I can't supply to directly to the retail shops. But once I have my own pack house, which will be Global Gap approved, I can be able to now expand my customer base.
Okay, so post-funding, how much revenue do you expect to do? If you're given the 400,000 and you're able to expand the 60 tunnels and you build the pack house?
I'm looking at about 6 million rands in total.
Okay, which is like 370, yeah.
350,000 a year.
Okay, all right, very good. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay, All right, very good. Patricia, thank you for coming on and sharing JLMM with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Inab Trading. Inab Trading. This is in Essentia.
Yes, yes. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Hello. I'm good and yourself. I greet you all. Yes. Can you hear me?
Clearly.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. My name is Innocentia Boniswe Hadebe. I'm a director of Inop Trading as a Black-owned woman. I'm doing mechanization past 3 years for Department of Agriculture. I've got a contract. Currently, they send me a document that I must submit on Thursday. They want to extend the contract for 5 years. They believe in me now. The current revenue that I have, it was a 5 million. It was 281,621.50 US dollar. The potential that I'm looking for is 15 million, which is 845,477,494 USD. And the current profit that I have is I've got 40%. And I've got the amount that I'm looking for. Because on the agriculture, I look potential when there is a lockdown, there is a COVID, there is an everything. I look more potential for other to include it in my business as I'm doing mechanization. Luckily enough, last week I signed a contract with the farm soil, the guy who is looking for the ladies for the yellow maize. The 1 ton of the tons, if you plant 100 hectares, you will get 505,395.75 US dollar if the maize going well, and the contract with SAP in Mozambique. And the second one is the castor beans. The castor beans that I'm looking for, I've already planted 2 hectares of that because I don't have money. I try to do that because I like it, because it's not seasonally. You harvest 3 times a year. There is no need of water. There is no need of manure. There is no need of anything. The only thing that they need, you harvest, you prepare yourself, and then you get a lot of money each and every time. And you spend 7 years with the same seeds. If I can get money to buy a land, the money that the sort amount that I'm looking for is 20 million. It's 1,125,699.55 US dollar. That money is include mechanization of mine, so to buy tractors and to buy the tunnels for the crops during the winter, because I see the potential as lockdown. I'm living in the rural area. Everybody's looking for the crops. Everybody's looking for the vegetables. All the parcels that they were supplying, they need it, is in target. And the second thing, I will apply hydroponics. I already done the training. I already done the smart farming. So I want to do that. If I can get tunnels, 10 of tunnels in that farm, and the 5 million that I will get, I can include to buy a farm. The 9,000 is for tractors only, all the fleet. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Next, we have any questions on that one? All right. Next up, we have Lolo D. Lolo D. It's Lorraine Daka. Lolo D. Lorraine Daka. Last call.
She doesn't seem to be on the Zoom call, Dr. Rollan.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have Shilangul Secondary Co-op. Komoshi. This is Colin Painter. Colin Painter. Shilangul Komoshi Secondary Co-op. Last call from Mr. Colin Painter.
He is on the
looks like you're
call.
on mute. I'm told that you're on mute.
Okay.
This is why it's urgent. Okay.
Here we go. Are we on?
Yes, I can hear you. Good. Yes, sir. You're on.
Good day. Greetings, everybody. Thank you. My name's Colin Painter. I'm a director of Sihlangulu Nkomoshe Secondary Co-op. My associate, Lindiwe Kuta, is not part of the, unfortunately, she couldn't make it here, but I'm representing the company. I'm the advisor. We have 3 farms that are, there are 3 state-owned farms that are under lease to the secondary co-op. They are situated just north of East London, with water, land, and the good climate and so forth. So it just needs funding. We're good to go in October this year if we can get funding. The land is there. It's just subject to a lease to confirm another lease, a long lease, and because we're looking for some patient capital, and I know you guys will want at least a 30-year lease on the land as well. So it's going to be mixed farming, and we're planning 24 hectares of late mandarin citrus varieties, which is a highly sought after high value crop in the Eastern Cape. And but in order to that takes 8-9 years to get into full production. So we've clipped on some more quick returns, vegetable farming, 18 hectares on 2 of those farms, 8 and 10 hectares. And then freshwater marron is a freshwater crayfish. We're partnering with an existing enterprise within about 100 kilometers with a market in Cape Town, all the restaurant business. Okay, it's a bit tough now at the moment, but they can't get enough. It's a freshwater crayfish, highly sought after in China, and very well. It's produced in Australia as well. So the returns are very good. So we're only looking at a small expansion there because it's a startup business. The whole business is a startup. Although there is infrastructure sheds and so forth a lot of them need to be reestablished and rebuilt. The revenue year 1 will start because we've got vegetables and so forth, and the cash crops. We're looking at $600,000 in year 1, increasing up to about $2.2 million in year 10 because of the citrus that will be coming into production. The return at the moment, the returns are the returns I've worked with, including grant funding as well as loan funding. So I'll have to give you those more proper returns for each enterprise later on. But the returns are pretty good with citrus. It's up to 30% depending on what variety you have. 30% IRR. The other enterprise we're looking at is layers, because that's an immediate cash flow in the beginning. So we're looking at a 15,000 unit layer to build layers for eggs production. We have the manager already online who's got the experience with layers, the markets for layers locally, as well as vegetable markets locally.
Okay, how much are you raising? How much are you all asking for all the things you're trying to do?
Okay, say again.
How much funds are you looking to raise for all the projects you're looking at?
We're looking at capex of about $2 million, the loan portion. I had a grant portion as well now. So at the moment, I don't think we can rely on grants from government because my experience is it takes time and sometimes is never there. So we're looking at a equity of $294,000 and then loans of $531. So the equity and grant portion is about $845,000. Sorry. And then the loan portion would be 531. So we are open to a profit share if there is. I haven't done one recently with a profit share, but we could look at that. But certainly we would be looking at equity and patient capital, and with the view of exiting maybe after 12 years or 15 years, so that we can buy back the shares from the investor if you guys have got the appetite to sell. We're good to go in October this year. Obviously, security would be that long lease of 30 years. At the moment, we can only get 5-year leases, but we can get it with national government for 30 years. That's what they're offering now. The vegetables is quite interesting because of this high demand for food and so forth now with the COVID. We think the vegetables is going to be a winner.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Colin, for sharing. I appreciate it. Any other questions from any other investors? I think we've gotten all the data that we need there. Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you, Colin. Okay. Next up, we have TebTech Holdings. Debohu Namane of TebTech Holdings.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dr. Roberts. Hi.
Greetings.
Hi, my name is Debohu Namane. I am the managing director of TebTech Holdings based in Johannesburg area. We are holding companies within the medical cannabis and technology. We actually identified the license holders in Lesotho to offer technology for the cultivation, for the establishment of cultivation facilities. Our interest is precisely that, to offer the technology that would help the cultivators to be aligned with the good manufacturing practices, as well as the good agricultural and collection practices, which are highly in demand globally.
Okay, let me ask this. Have you already started?
No, we are a startup.
We have started, okay. Who else is doing the business with you?
The TebTech has 2 directors. The license holders that we have aligned ourselves with are the cultivators based in Lesotho. We have the technology guys.
Yeah, pardon me. I'm just, for sake of time, I mean, if you'll allow me to just ask questions, we can move along. So my question is, the farmers or the cultivators that you have relationships with in Lesotho right now, which I'm very familiar with, what's the nature of that relationship or those arrangements? I mean, you all have any agreements that you're going to start coming up with these technology, or what's the nature of the current arrangement?
We have the highly technological people within the cannabis industry that we have partnered with, who are also here in Johannesburg, but they are operating in Lesotho. They have already helped establish few cultivating facilities. So that's the comfort of knowing that we'll be able to deliver the technology. In terms of the cultivators themselves, who are based in Lesotho, are Basotho people holding licenses and nothing else, they have all complied with all the government laws and regulation within the medical cannabis industry, and also on the global compliance. The arrangement that we have is that we would be sharing the 60-40% with them, upon raising, making sure that we actually have funding to get them starting to do the work. They have the land, they have secured the land, they are ready to start rolling as soon as they get that technology. So the funding we're looking for is for the technology, so that they can actually start. Within that technology offering for the cultivators, is precisely the required technology for the GACPs and GMPs. Secondly, it's coming with training. It's also bringing along the skills that are required to transfer the skills to the locals. as well as a offtake agreement that comes along with that from the beginning of the project, basically of building the actual facility to the first harvest. That's the arrangement that we have.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Here's a question for you. Do you? Let's see. Okay. How much are you asking for?
Okay. We have 3 units to this. We have 3 cultivators, 3 license holders, and we are asking for per unit, per cultivator facility, $5.5 million US, which includes of everything that I have just said, the technology, the skills for the key, personnel at the beginning, the training up until the first harvest.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want, Daniel, now I don't even know if you're going to be interested in this, but my immediate feedback is that we wouldn't do this for anybody in the U.S. or Canada, where medical cannabis is being grown at unprecedented rates, and we're very familiar with it. We're very familiar with the production, the farming, the production, and it does not cost $5.5 million unless you're doing some massive things. And
these
so
greenhouses,
I don't see this at all. So my question to you, Teboho, is are you willing to see a better way, a more economical way, and a more profitable way for you and your family? If you are, I think that there's some of us on the call. Daniel, I know, has mentioned some things that he knows in that area, and probably has technology that does not require $5 million per farm to make it better. So if you're open to that, I think we can help you. Or if you were kind of, set in your thought process that that's how you want to do it, and, then just let us know.
Oh, okay. Let me be sure that I understand you very well, Dr. Roberts. Yeah. You're saying to assist us go on, with the project, with the business, you would advise in terms of what kind of technology that would still give us the compliant processing and everything, but at a much lesser amount.
Yeah, Daniel,
the answer is,
yeah, I mean, I think she's talking about a couple tech components, right? I think she's probably talking about the actual equipment technology to kind of, process and help with the farming. And then there's actual, software probably components of that for the regulatory compliance. We're working with a number of producers here globally and some in the US as well that have their medical cannabis licenses and can grow, Kentucky and California and such. So actually we've got a pretty nice network of people in both hemp and cannabis, whether it's medical or whether it's the fun kind that people like to smoke. So we can definitely help. I think we should, given we don't have a lot of time on this call, maybe set up another call so we can kind of break down, when you say tech, what do you mean by tech? What is the process? So maybe we set up a 30-minute call another day. But yeah, definitely, for anybody that's listening to this, medical cannabis right now is just on fire. It is blowing up because all the science around all the health benefits to it is really starting to come to light. And it's definitely a cash crop. If you think mangoes make you money, hemp 5x that, 10x.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Teboho. We appreciate you presenting. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Lizelle Maurice. Lizelle Maurice.
Hi, Dr. Rolland. Yes. Lizelle Maurice Pty Limited. We in the hospitality. I'm the managing director currently in the hospitality and tourism industry. We trade as a 4-star boutique guest house at the moment. For the last 3 years, we've averaged $350,000 per year, obviously, except this year where the hospitality industry was really affected. We have an existing client base of 90% government and corporate clientele, and we're seeking funding for a total wipeout obstacle course facility. And if we purchase that, it will be licensed us for the whole of South Africa as well. So that's what we're seeking funding for. And if we get the funding, we'll be able to, just on the obstacle course, at a ticket price of $14 US for clients, 270 clients per day, we'll be able to increase our revenue from the average of $350 US to just with 15 good days in the month, we'll be able to increase our revenue to just shortly over $1 million US per annum. That's besides your merchandise, and that is besides the sales from food and beverage or restaurant on the same course as well. We envisage to put this total wipeout facility 20 kilometers out of East London, where we have an existing 726 hectare farm right on the N6 highway. So it's visible from one of our national highways. And the funding that is sought is debt funding. Debt funding negotiable with equity.
Okay,
Thank
and
you.
what is, how much are you asking for?
We're asking for about $600,000 US.
Okay. And that's to go to build this course. Now, does it also go to build the restaurant and some of those things, or is that already there?
No, it's not already there. We're currently renting out the facility or the property to a commercial farmer, and that lease expires end of December, which we will then go in, and there is an existing structure which we could convert, but it needs some work. So the current funding sought, if we say 500,000 would be for the equipment, and then the additional could be to make the restaurant as well. And then slowly out in phases where we can then put accommodation as well. So initially we would want to just have it as day visits, and then slowly roll it out over a 3 to 4 to 5 year period to have accommodation as well on the same property.
Yeah. How many hectares are you? Do you already have for this?
726 hectares.
Oh, okay. And you already have that, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What is your post-funding projection? So you're doing $350,000 now in annual revenue. If you receive $600,000 in funding, how much revenue will you be doing after that?
Well, we envisage in the first year, if we're conservative and we say we have 270 visitors per day at the $14.18 per client per day, it works out to $3,828 US per day, which would be about 15 good days, which would be $57,000 US. So we'll be able to increase it by an additional, just on 15 good days, $689,000 US. And that's conservative estimates.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good.
And we'll leverage off our existing clientele as well as our existing networks as well.
Yeah. Last question. How long will it take from once you get the funding before you are selling day passes to the obstacle course? How long does it take you to get that prepared?
Well, at the moment, say if we put the order in today for a machine, for example, for equipment, it takes 6 months for equipment manufacture. So I'd say we'd be ready for trading in July next year. We'll give it 6 months from when the lease expires, because the lease on the property expires in December. So we give ourselves the first 6 months of 2021 to prepare everything, to order the equipment, and then to start selling in July next year.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to need to better understand that lease situation. I don't understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the only question that I have on that. Okay, very good. Thank you so much for sharing, Lizelle. Thank you. And great job with the business you've built. I mean, fantastic, very strong. All right. Next we have Elanjeni. Concepts or Elanjeni Trading?
Elangeni.
Ah, yes. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. My name is Lufuna Mutubi. I am the Managing Director of Elangeni Trading, and Elangeni Trading is a petroleum wholesale and bulk transporting company that opened in 2017. So we took that company from making about $8,000 yearly to where we are now at $30,000 in our last financial year. And we have acquired a contract for bulk transporting coal in a mine in the northwest here in Gauteng, in the northwest of South Africa. And we want to purchase 5 trucks with $250,000. The contract is for 5 years. The trucks are primarily going to be transporting coal to and from minefields to a mine. What's lovely about trucking in our country, especially mining, it's not quite affected by COVID, so everything is still quite running smoothly. And what we've projected so far, if we get the funding from October in the year ending 2020, we would have made, including the 250,000 rands that we are asking, $1,000 that we're asking for, about $1.3 million in the first year, and in the next year, about $1.4 million in 2022. And our contract is for 5 years. Yeah, and that's us. I think you're frozen. Are you frozen? Hello?
Okay, sorry.
Yes, how much are you asking for?
$250,000.
You're asking for $250,000, and you're saying you're going to be able to do $1.3 million with that in the first year after you get the money.
Yes.
You're doing 50,000 now, and you already have the contracts, the coal contracts.
Yes, we've got the contracts. We are ready to go. We just need the trucks.
Okay, so the 250,000 is for the trucks. Okay.
I think maybe a bit of clarification is the $50,000 is net revenue, the $30,000 in terms of income.
Currently, yeah. Okay. And we're not tracking currently, it's just on bulk, on other businesses that we doing.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
This is specific to coal mining, correct? Or are you talking about other types of mining as well?
Chrome. It's both coal and chrome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now, now is the 250, is that to lease vehicles or is that to purchase?
No, we want to purchase them.
Okay. Have you looked at lease options and what that might look like?
We have looked at lease options, and in that, firstly, we want to be able to have some assets, and secondly, if we are leasing, it's about 25,000 rands per truck, which means we'll be spending about 300,000 per month towards leasing, and we felt that was that sort of investment, because we would have to lease also the train.
Understood.
Yeah.
And Tony, it's really ironic that you even bring that up. That was my exact. I remember in June. I did not remember it until she went through this, and that was my exact issue. I get the desire to own, I really do, but you're doing $50,000 and to give you $250,000 in trucks, and I don't know if those are used. I don't know if they're new. I don't know if half of them are going to break down the week after you get the money. It is beyond risky to me to do this. However, I think you have a great business. I think it's just how you are going about it is not the smartest way. So I don't know, Tony, how you feel about it, but you know, I go back to if you are open to looking at you know, another way of doing it and receiving less funding, but enough to still get the trucks, then I think there's something to talk about. And so, you know, I don't know, Tony, what are your thoughts?
The first thing that I was thinking of, if I was in your shoes, I guess, I would, you know, for the first couple contracts, right, just to kind of show that there's cash flow coming through, you know, look at doing a revenue, so it kind of like reduces risk, maybe doing revenue split with the trucking company. See if they're open, so you're not really paying anything, you're just splitting some of the profits, and they may, you know, you may be surprised what they'd be really open to. But yeah, I was kind of thinking along those lines with Rollan as well. You know, you have that asset, but it's also a liability in terms of when you get that truck, and you're at the mercy, that investment, you know, you're really at the mercy of what happens there. And so I was just kind of thinking about that momentarily, and thinking about how I could kind of work around that or collateralize it. Do you have any other types of collateral?
Yes, we do have other types of collateral, mostly vehicles and other business collateral, and also a cash injection. However, I'm happy to look. I'm definitely happy to look at other ways of skinning this cat, and seeing what's the smartest way of going about it. Obviously, I'm quite subjective because I've run the figures by myself without some external knowledge and wisdom. And if there's another way that you guys could help me look at it better or start it better, I'm very open to looking at that.
Okay. That sounds good. And I'll tell you, that says a lot. It says more than a lot of entrepreneurs, you know, will. But I think that is the trait that makes great entrepreneurs. You know, if they're always open to constantly pivot, that's what makes a good entrepreneur an entrepreneur. We don't have the fun to fill it. That overcoming that challenge is what makes us who we are. Any you know, Tom, Dick, or Harry could go, you know, do it the normal way or the logical way, but that's why it never gets done. It's an entrepreneur who figures out a way to do it, something they don't have. So very good. Thank you so much. I might need yours. I don't know. I can't see, and I don't know why they turned it. All right. Very good. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Next up, I would like to welcome Emma Wethu Farm. Emma Wethu Farm. Mawathu Kawe. Emma Wethu Farms.
She is here.
I can't hear
Afternoon.
Yes, I have you. I can see you. Yes, go ahead. Thank you.
Afternoon, everybody, including yourself, Dr. Rollan.
Thank you. Good day.
Thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to present my business. I'm Mawethu Kawe, the managing director and owner of Mawethu Farm. The business started in 2012 and we've been operating ever since. Our business is sheep breeding, and we've been doing that for quite a while. However, we are deciding to actually diversify into intensive farming, and that's going to entail the acquisition of young lambs in particular from the market, and growing them in the farm within a short space of time of 3 months. And that would need planting of feed, which we've done. We're going to extend that to 300 hectares under irrigation, and mix it with all the necessary ingredients that are necessary to make the lambs to grow faster. And we sell them at 50 kg on average at abattoirs. And we've got local abattoirs, about 3, which I'm a sort of a customer for, and which I've built reputation around quality of products I offer them. And the business will scale and eventually, to very high levels. Currently, the revenue we're doing is 2.5 per annum million, which is $146,000, with a profit, gross profit of $125,000. That's almost 80 gross profit margin currently, because of the fact that we're not buying. But if you look at the net gross profit, that works out to 30% currently, and with profit of 43,000 rands, which is $43,000 currently. And with the expansion that we're requesting, which is a request for a facility of $34 million. We're looking at projected performance in the first year of 45 million rands, which is 2.6 million dollars per annum, and we're looking at a gross profit of 13,000, which is 7.6 million rands, which works out to gross profit of 29, but a net gross profit of 13% because of the costs that are going to be incurred in the first year of the loan. But going forward, the business is going to improve exponentially. The receipt for the business.
Okay, let me stop right there, sir. Just for I need to understand a few very basic things. First of all, I want to better understand how much revenue you're doing right now.
Right now, I'm doing 2.5, which works out to $146,000.
Okay, and how much are you asking for investment? Did I hear that right? 34 million US?
We're asking for 34 million US, which with 80% of it is going to be used on purchase of young stock and feeding them and selling them and buying them. So it's a repeat business, and with 20% being the equipment cost.
Can we double check to make sure that 34 million is the right translation to USD? Because that does not sound right at all. I mean, you could build a mega office complex, and many businesses for $34 million, not a cheap business. And so I think there may be some confusion on the number.
I think you meant 2 million.
Oh, sorry for that. Oh. Sorry, it's actually 34 million rands, which translates to 2 million.
Okay, all right, okay. Man, I was about to get up from the table and walk out. Come on. Man.
I'm not used to this thing of dollars. Sorry for that.
All right, really all right. You're going to pay for my open heart surgery from the heart attack you give me. Okay.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
You're fine. You're fine. Just split it with me. Just split the profit with me.
Yes,
all right. So you're asking for 2 million.
Yes.
And that 2 million. How many hectares do you have right now?
Right now, I've got 2,500 hectares, and I've got a 30-year lease. So it's a state land 30-year lease, because what's happening with the government? They give you a 5-year lease initially to test you whether you actually serious on what you are doing, and you become on probation for 5 years. Once you've passed that test, then they give you a 30-year lease, And after 30-year lease, then it's renewable for another 20 years. Then after that, they give you the land to yourself, you know. So that's how the policy of government works.
How far into the 30 years are you?
The 30 year I was given last year, so I'm left with 29 years.
Okay, and then let's. I mean, that's still a lot, but let's suppose you got 2 million for your sheep enterprise. How much revenue do you expect to do after the investment?
After the investment, I'm going to do, this is very conservative, I'm going to do 2.6 million on the first year, which works out to a gross profit margin of 29%.
Yeah, 2.6 million USD. And then what do you see that being? Does that continue to go up, or does that pretty much, you're going to do that about every year?
It's going to continue growing up because, for instance, the 10,000. Sorry.
Oh, because of the breeding, right? Because you're getting the young ones, and you're able to grow them in 3 months in process.
You know, for instance, I mean, what I've been doing so far is actually I've got breeding stock on the farm, but I've said to myself, it takes a while for you to actually sort of get money out of it. So what I'm doing is, whilst I have that, I'm leaving that aside. And then what's going to happen is, because there's so much in the market in terms of young lambs around 25 to 30 kg, which farmers sell because they need cash. They are not in a position to grow them further. So I'm going to buy them from them between 25 and 30 kg and grow them double the sort of the weight. The price is almost the same. It's going to be, but then the revenue is going to double. And then my sort of my major expenses is going to be on the cost of feeding initially. But then I'm going to have the 300 hectares, which is quite a lot, and irrigation, a mix of grasses that I'm going to plant, the lucerne, maize, all those. And then so I've got a processing facility.
How many head of sheep do you have right now?
Right now I've got 2,000, and then I've got about 1,000 young ones. So I've got 3,000 in total.
Yeah, how many would you be buying out of that 2 million? Like how much does one sheep cost? How many are you buying out of that with that 2 million? I know that some has to go to feed and things, but
yes. Say for instance, I mean, you know, the young ones, they are going to be around 1,300, 1,300, because they work on, you know, for instance, the current market price for young ones, it's around 35 rands. So it's going to be 35 rand times the average weight. So you can say 35, and but you can round it at 1.3. So I'm looking at buying 10,000, and that 10,000 is going to be layered out in 6 months. So
you'd be growing from 3,000 sheep to how many sheep? I'm still not getting the answer.
Oh, so it's for instance, we take it's going to be 10,000 sheep that I'm going to be buying, and I'm going to be buying 10,000 sheep times 2 per annum, and that works out to almost a revenue of 40 million, and then those sheep are going to be sheared. Then the shearing of sheep, then that's additional revenue of about 5 million. I do share even now, you know, and it's quite a, you know, for instance, to share one small one, you are looking at 1.5 kg per each small one, but it's a wool of a higher value because it's for young ones, but the price sort of fluctuates, you know. Yeah. Okay. So that 5 million is on average.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, very good. This has been very helpful. I mean, 2,500 hectares, 3,000 sheep. You've got quite the enterprise going. You're already shearing your process. I think there's a lot that could be done with your business. Very interesting. Great job. Where's it located? Where are you, in East London or Johannesburg?
It's located in next to, there's a place called Venterstad, which is at the corner. It's at a strategic place at the corner of Eastern Cape, Free State, Northern Cape, but the business falls under Eastern Cape.
Okay. All right. No, that sounds good. Any other questions before investors before I move on? Okay, very good. All right. Thank you, Mwathu. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. We're moving on to Zabani projects. Zabani projects. This is Nomasi Kobaka.
Thank you, Dr. Rollan. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Women's Month to all the women in this Zoom. My name is Nomaki Kabaka, a social entrepreneur based in Dansane Township, East London, Eastern Cape. My role in the company is the managing director and driver of the core business of the company. The company is in waste management and its name is Kobani Multipurpose Primary Cooperative Trading as Kobani Projects. We have been in operation for the past 10 years and we are a team of women and young people trying to drive and have the environment clean. We are waste management and manufacturing of essential products from recycled materials and other materials. As this program of caring for the environment and collecting waste, we collect a lot of fabrics, offcuts, and other materials, glass, paper, plastic, you name them. We are helping the municipality, which is only able to do only 30% of waste management. Remember, there are so many municipalities in our country, in our South Africa, in various provinces. So everyone there needs our services. With the COVID, you know, we realized the need for masks, for gowns, all the PPE that are essential. We therefore went out and tried to get a bigger space from what we are having from the government, who is having some defunct factories that are lying there without doing anything. So that is why we are asking for funding, because we want to have a fully functional factory where we could do our recycling and manufacturing in one place. We are at the moment, we are at the margin of, we are currently doing $190,000. And we are planning with, we have a potential of making $600,000 as profit. We are looking at funding of about $165 to be able to have $165.
Okay.
Yes. And we know that we are going to make it work because we have a buy-in of the mining houses, all the government departments, all our municipalities, because our services are very much essential.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Rollan.
Thank you, Nomasi. What are you going to do with the last $175? I mean, that's pretty specific. $775,000. What's the last 175 for?
$775,165, Dr. Rollan, is to revamp this factory. We are putting on equipment. We are putting on everything that we need within that factory to be able
Is that for
to.
The waste energy? Is that for the recycling or the waste energy kind of?
Yeah, for the recycling and manufacturing in one house, you know. We want machinery for sewing, we want machinery for recycling, we want all the cutting and also the transporting of all the waste material to and fro from wherever we are collecting.
And do you have do you have contracts? Is that how you get your revenue right now?
We have with our own municipality at the moment, and we are busy with the Department of Health to supply to them.
Okay.
That is where we are saying we are at about $190,000 at the moment.
Do you already have the land, or would you have to buy the land?
The factory, Dr. Rollan, that we are earmarking belongs to our government, and it's different. They are doing nothing about those factories. It is there, it is ready. All we need to have is funding that will help us revamp it and put it in a functional scenario.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Any other questions from any of the other investors on? Very good. All right. Thank you so much, Nomate. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. Have a lovely day.
Happy Women's Month to you.
Happy Women's Month to everyone.
Thank
you.
Power to the women.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. All right. Mvundla Farms. Mvundla Farms. This is John Capito. John Capito. No. Excuse me. We've already got. Excuse me. Yes. Kava Wedding Farm. Kava Wedding Farm. This is. We already went with Busisiwi. I guess they're coming back. Okay. Kava Wedding Farm. Busisiwi.
She doesn't seem to be on the call.
Okay. Let me mute that person. Okay, next up, that was the last call for Kava Wedding Farm. Next up, we have Katartizo Group. Katartizo Group.
Yes, it's Katartizo Group, Dr. Rollan. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good day, greetings.
Yes, my name is Lukhanyi Sompongoshe. I'm the managing member and lead consultant for Katartizo Group of Companies, which is a company operating within the construction industry, rendering professional consultancy services, for example, your quantity surveying, your construction project management, your engineering services. So from these services, the company makes about $48,000 per annum, with profits ranging from $17,000 to $35,000 in the past 2 years. With the extension services, we can raise the profits up to $100,000 per annum from 2023. The project in discussion is Katartizo Training Academy. Due to the need in the country to have capacitated and skilled emerging contractors and personnel within the construction industry, we are looking for an amount of $97,000 to get the company accredited with the construction.
How much were you?
$97,000. $97,000.
Okay.
Yes, that is to get the company. It's to get the company accredited with the Construction Education and Training Authority, and to get training materials and equipment, and also for operation services for the first 18 months. Because we can, in the cash flow I submitted, the company will start making profit in the second year, at the end of the second year.
Okay, now this is not for us. You're already doing 48,000 a year in sales, so this isn't a startup. I mean, this is this
was it a year or was it a month, Dr. Rollan? I didn't quite get that differentiator.
Yeah, it's 40. I thought it was 48,000 a year. Was that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. That is the income, $48,000 per annum, and the profits, they range from $17,000 to $35,000 in the past 2 years. Am I clear?
I still don't understand if you're saying you're making how much profit per month or per year. If we could get a clarification, let's just tell me how much per year do you make in profit? That I can do the math.
Okay, for example, in 2018, the financial statements, we made about profit, that is profit now, it was $17,000. And for 2019, that was $35,000. That's the profit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you've doubled your profit year over year. I would be interested in better understanding. I think, Daniel, I don't know, because getting the accreditation may be a few thousand, but it sounds like the majority of it is going to be equipment and materials. Is that correct?
That's correct, Dr. Rollan, and getting the accreditation, because previously we were doing this training without being accredited, but now it does not help the learner or the student because they need to get accredited certification as well.
Okay. Are you doing e-learning, or are you having people come to a facility and you're actually training in a classroom?
Yes, but with the COVID, I understand that we need to have now different strategies like your virtual, but you find that there are skills that will need to be done on site. So normally we do classroom training. That is the one that is most ideal. And then for on-site, then the learners would need to go and get experiential training, maybe in a construction site after they've gone through the training.
Okay. All right. Very good. I think that'll help us. And then if we need further discussion, we can schedule that.
Thank you for that.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much, Lakanyiso. I appreciate it. Thank you. Very good. All right. Next up, we have Namthathambo 2017 Trading Enterprise. Namthathambo 2017 Trading Enterprise.
Hi. Hello, sir.
Greetings. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. You're talking to Ozayo Siotula. I'm the managing director at Namthathambo Trading. We're from South Africa, Mount Fletcher, a province in Eastern Cape. My proposal is about a brick block and precast product manufacturing project, which will be based here in Mount Fletcher. Currently, we have no revenue as this business is a startup. We saw an opportunity in this kind of business. Mount Fletcher is a small town that is rapidly growing, and so the need for our service is essential to maintain the growth taking place here. In 2011, the town was only 9 square kilometers. After about 9 years, the town has expanded.
Let me ask you a couple questions then, given because we're not able to kind of present the way that you're starting to present. So given that it's a startup, let me ask you some questions. What are you wanting to do? What's the business going to do?
The business, we will manufacture blocks, building blocks,
manufacture building
and single purpose products like your lintels.
Yeah, you're going to manufacture building blocks. Next question: have you done that before? Or why are you wanting to get in this business?
No, we see an opportunity here in Mount Fletcher because the town is a small town, but now it's growing because in 2011 it was about 11 square kilometers, 9 square kilometers, but as of today it's about 33 square kilometers. So people are flocking in here from the rural areas because it's a rural town. So people are coming to town for the services. like
Okay.
essential
So-
services. So they
Yes. All right. So do you have people on your team that know how to do this? Or let me ask a different question. Let me ask a different question. How much money are you asking for?
it's $220,127.
Okay. And what would you spend that on?
It's the equipment, the structure, and the tanks, water tanks. About the land, we have land here. We have a registered place, which we own. So the only thing that we need is the setup, the money for the setup, and the equipment, the first equipment, and probably the first 4 months to pay the finances for the first 4 months to pay, like the wages.
Right. Okay. How many competitors do you have? Who else is
I've
doing
only got
this?
two.
Two.
There are two people who are in the same business as this one. But the problem with them is that they are not ISO certified. ISO and SAP certified. Their products are not certified. And what we intend to do is to get the certification of ISO.
How much does
And
that cost?
Sorry?
How much does that cost? And is that subjective?
the
Political. Is
cost-
that political whether you do it or not?
It's ready. It's ready.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I want to know how much it costs to get ISO certified, and then if it is a subjective process or objective process. Meaning, is it political process, or does anybody who applies for this and pays the fee gets approved?
You just apply, and the inspectors come and check your readiness and the quality of your products. Then they give you the certification.
Okay. So you've got to build it all first and then hope you get the certification.
We want to get the certification before we render the service.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. And I appreciate the comments as well that we're hearing that that this is an extremely critical service in your area, and that customers will drive great distances for ISO accredited products. So, here's the thing. It sounds like it's a great business. We would need to better understand your team. And I mean, I'd have to see some very strong resumes of people who've been building and construction relationships with contractors, maybe even get, if you have some MOUs or contracts with developers that say, when you have ISO building blocks, we'll purchase, X amount a year from you, anticipated. So things like that, I think would really help this cause.
Because I've been talking to some contractors around the area about the ISO certification and stuff. The guys already gave me a letter of intent, and some local.
You do have one. Okay.
Yeah, because I've been talking to them and explaining to them what I'm thinking of. But now, since I haven't got the ISO certification yet, and I haven't started the service, so they said they gave me the letters of intent as to when I get the service prepared, then I can give them the service.
Okay, and last question that I have for you. If you were given the money today, how long is it going to take you before you're generating revenue?
2 months. Because
That's how long it's
you
going to
make
take you to get the equipment, shipping equipment, getting it there. I mean, it seems like with COVID, things take months to ship, but you're saying you can buy the equipment and the water tanks and start putting out product and have it sold all within 2 months.
in 2 months, because we're closer to Durban. The biggest people who manufacture these machineries are in Durban, or at least the people that I've talked to are based in Durban, and I find them very reasonable because their delivery period is 2 weeks, and the startup of that is only, I just need a slab. I could only put down a slab, then I'm off.
Okay. You're starting to break up pretty bad. I have one final question for you. If you get the $220,000 raise, I may need someone else's computer here.
You're on my speaker, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. My question for you is, if you receive the funding, and obviously you're turning revenue in 2 months, how much revenue do you expect to do post-funding?
Uh, 50,000. I think, yeah, 50 to 60.
For the whole year or per month?
For per month. That's a month.
He's guessing now.
Yeah. Wait. He's doing what? He's just
Because why I'm saying that is because we have projects running here. Like you have RTP houses, and the demand is very high.
But see, here's the thing. I don't think the equipment you're buying can produce that amount of building blocks. I don't know if you've got the land to house that many building blocks, the equipment to move it around, to so $220,000 gets you something. I'm not sure it can produce enough to net you $50,000 per month.
No, it's rands. 50,000 rands.
Oh,
Yes.
gotcha. Okay, so what does that turn to USD?
Okay, that's different.
Give me
1 minute.
Okay, give us 1 second. 1 moment, please.
Okay. It's about $15,000.
Okay, so
Oh,
one night. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Next up, we have Funda Lula Academy. Funda Lula Academy. This is Bendele.
Yes. Good day. Yes. Good day to everyone.
Greetings.
Yes. I'm Pindile Ncede. I'm based in East London. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I'm based in East London. I'm the CEO of Funda Lula Academy. Funda Lula Academy is a startup digital learning entrepreneurship academy. The aim of the academy is to introduce aspiring entrepreneurs into entrepreneurship through training that basically combines entrepreneurship education and vocational training over 12 months. The training is divided into 3 parts. Part A being 4 months of entrepreneurship education, which will offer with the US's network for teaching entrepreneurship, and plus part B is 6 months of vocational training, which is mainly in the first year will be from applied arts, that is fashion, furniture, filmmaking, photography, and a course in digital marketing. And part C is basically a project that will be given to students to develop a product and then a business plan that will be developed around that product. We are basically looking for 80. Yes. Yes, Dr. Roberts, I'm listening.
Nope, you were getting ready to get to what I wanted to know. How much are you looking to raise?
Yes, we're looking to
going
raise 80,000 USD with projected revenue of about 121,000 in the first year, with about 350 enrollments in the first year. We plan to have 2 intakes per year. And in the second year, we are looking at about $138,000 revenue. And in the third year, about $156,000. So basically the plan is to train to about 500 students, having 2 enrollments per year.
I have a quick question. How are you, do you have a strategy around e-learning, and do you have a platform to enable people that maybe can't come into a physical location to participate in your program and do virtual learning?
We basically all our learning is planned to be 100% digital learning, and then we don't have a physical space. We feel like most entrepreneurs, they like to control their time. If we're going to train people for aspiring entrepreneurs, they like to control their time and can actually do the work without coming on site.
No, I agree 100% with you. So do you have an e-learning platform that you're going to use?
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes. So what we have, we've already agreed to a partnership for entrepreneurship education with the US's Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship. So we'll use their curriculum and they will provide technical assistance. And then on the vocational training, there is a company that has agreed where we can go into a revenue sharing, but I'm open to that one because we haven't signed anything yet. I'm open to that one to get a platform if I can.
Right. So when you have your own e-learning platform, you're able to plug in all these different partners, right? So I'm a student, I log in, I have all of my resources there, and you're able to manage all the, I could pick from the courses. So this courses might be from one of your vocational partners, but ultimately it's your platform that you control. You might get content from this partner, you might get content from that partner. So if we have an e-learning portal that we've built, that might be something you might be interested in. So we should have a follow-on conversation so we can show you that and see if that fits into your project.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Daniel.
No, appreciate it. I don't know if we lost Dr. Rollan. He's on mute.
Yes, Dr. Roberts, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was thinking, thank you. I want to thank you, Funda Lula Academy, for sharing and presenting. And I do think that you have something very unique. And I know firsthand how popular this is in Africa right now, because I've just been speaking with people about this, and I've seen them shift to online in COVID, during COVID times. And I'll tell you, Africa has shifted much better than the US has to online. And in fact, they're able to charge more in the US. Many of them are doing opposite. So I would just like to commendate you on your work there. And certainly entrepreneur education is something that is extremely important to me and to us and all of our partners, on this. So I think, and I actually am very pleased that you'll have a follow-up conversation with Daniel. I think he has very unique platforms, and this is just exactly in his wheelhouse. As you see, he's with Future Tech. And so it's, I think, where your head is at and where his technology is at and what they do, I think something unique and special can come from it. So I'd like to thank all of our enterprises today who have presented. Thank you for being with us for the last few hours. Thank you for the last 6 months of hard work that you've done preparing your enterprise to pitch to the investors. We had several investors on that have been taking copious notes and been messaging me throughout. So I want to just thank all of you who presented and let you know. And I want to thank the investors who have been on and been so attentive. I have to say, the enterprises were very well prepared. You all, for the most part, did exactly what we asked with giving us the exact information. And as you saw, it allowed us to really get into some interesting conversations. So thank you for following our program and protocol. And I want to just say, you have done a lot of hard work since June. The work that I did with you in June compared to the work that I saw today is just a tremendous improvement. And so I want to just to congratulate you and congratulate all the enterprises that will have things from follow-up conversations. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Madam Yakan of Timeless. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Rollan. And thank you so much to all our investors who've been online and for your engagement with these great enterprises. I'm very, very proud of you, South Africa. I mean, you've prepared well. You've taken all the feedback that we gave you online through the last 5 months. You have, beefed up your enterprises, the numbers, the projections. You can articulate the value of your businesses, just as we have guided over the months. As Dr. Rollan says, I'm really, really proud of you, and we are proud of you. I think the technical team, I speak on behalf of all of them. They're really, really impressed by your articulation. It was very efficient, very on point. I think we have got what we needed to get. Our teams are going to consolidate the outcomes of these presentations with the investors. The investors are going to, be online with us. We'll discuss the enterprise interests and, what you all have asked for, and those who are interested and are willing to take the conversation further. You will receive communication from our team tonight, and prepare yourself. You will be guided on how you will then proceed to the offers and to be able to meet the investors one-to-one, which is scheduled for tomorrow. And I personally wish you all the best. I wish you God's favor and God's hand upon everything. Remember that, as a leader of your enterprise, you are taking up that opportunity to contribute to your country's, socioeconomic transformation, to solve your country's problems, to create economic growth in your country. And above all, because South Africa is part of Africa, to contribute to Africa's economic and social transformation. So from us here, we're very, very proud. Thank you so much, Lizelle, for your leadership with the enterprises in South Africa. Yes. Obviously committed, and you have stayed in tune, walked the journey with our technical teams and with Dr. Rollan and myself. Really proud of your leadership. And indeed, we look forward to taking these steps forward. So from here, then from Nairobi, Kenya, do have a good night, and our teams will be in touch. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody. Thank you.